Hello everyone, welcome to my channel and my video regarding an unboxing of Ballpark Baseball. This is in a way part 2 of the unboxing. Part 1 actually turned out to be where there was a game called On Base Baseball that came in this auction. I've decided to save that as a separate video, but there were a bunch of photocopied items related to this on-base baseball game. I decided to separate this into 2 separate videos so that this one can be specifically about ballpark baseball. So let's see what we have here. I won this game in an auction. It was an estate sale from somebody who had an amazing number of vintage baseball games. And as an aside, these games are going for pretty high prices. I saw a post on one Facebook forum where somebody said that there really isn't a collectible market for vintage baseball games like there are for vintage baseball cards. I chose not to chime in, but I would respectfully disagree. Speaking from personal experience, there clearly is a collectible market, and prices are, quite frankly, getting quite ridiculous. One interesting thing I will say about ballpark baseball is in many ways it was ahead of its time. And I should have said this at the outset, but I have a completely separate video where I reviewed ballpark baseball and explained how it worked. And I would recommend watching that either before or after finishing this video, because I think it'll give you a lot of perspective on the game. But let's proceed with the unboxing. So here's some rules, some level 2 rules. I didn't realize that they created a level 2 of ballpark baseball. And I think, like, for example, with catchers, there's some advanced ratings that you can use, and it's just different interpretations, I think, of some of the charts and some of the ratings. But there you have that. Ballpark Baseball Level 1, copyright 1971. This is being recorded in mid-May 2024. But until a few years ago, this game was still actively sold. The website is still up, but I don't think you can buy it anymore. So this may be fading into history. Ballpark Baseball is based on kind of a random number system of 1 to 50. 1 to 25 is off the batter card. 26 to 50 is off the pitcher card. So it is at the heart of 50-50 baseball game, but it is a modified 50-50 game, and I cover that in the other video. So this looks, just looking at these cards, the batter card and the pitcher card, they look a little different than the ones I previewed on the other video, in the sense that while these cards have left and right splits, as you can see here, the cards that I had reviewed previously also had a split between whether there were runners on base or whether the bases were empty. So I'm not sure what versions of the game used those additional splits versus this, but this is ballpark baseball. There's something called the playbook, when it looks like this is where you get the stolen bases and the bunts and so on. There's a pad of score sheets, pretty straightforward, I would say, but perfectly intact, maybe a little yellowed on top, which can happen with old paper. This is a pitcher usage chart, which would be important for league play or replays. This is always fun, but somebody actually kept their scorecard of playing the Orioles and the Mets. It's a pretty good penmanship there. Can't really tell who won. Here we have something called the first roll chart and the second roll chart. I really don't understand this, and it's very possible this goes with the other game on base, so I'm going to leave that out. Random number chart, how to use. So yeah, there are different dice, and somebody recently told me that there are different die that you use, and this tells you how to do it. I'd have to study this to see if it creates truly different equally weighted random numbers from 1 to 50. Maybe it does. This one happens to be copyrighted in 1976. You know, I guess there probably were other ways to do this. You probably could use some combination of D10s and ignore the rolls higher than 50. Who knows? This is what I was familiar with before, but Ballpark Baseball came actually in a folder and a playbook. And so this is a combination of the rules, and there are also some rare plays and so on that you would find in this rule book. This appears to be original and in great shape. Yeah, there's some additional things for stolen bases, double steals, and so on. This is kind of cool. This is a cover letter from April 2nd, 1979, sent to the original owner of this game. Yeah, it's just talking about some interesting stuff here. I'll pause it here for a second in case you want to pause the video and read it. But this is a customized response to the original owner's questions about the game. There's another one that says something about the 1973 World Series teams. They must have been gone out of stock, so they're reprinting them. Here we have a piece of paper. These are rosters of the World Series teams. These almost look like instead of being photocopied, they might have been run off on the old mimeograph machines. There was a name for this. If you remember from school, if you're old enough to remember, these things had a very interesting chemical smell, I guess I would say, if you ran off these mimeographs. It brings back some memories. It just smells like old paper right now. So here's some interesting ballpark charts. They look different from what I am familiar with. So this game may have gone through a number of revisions, but this is the Oakland Coliseum. And so just without this being a tutorial, there are various types of hits that end up getting referred to the ballpark chart. And then the outcomes are determined by the fielding rating of the fielder in question, 1 being the best, I think, and 9 being the worst. So yeah. So here we have Memorial Stadium for Baltimore, the Orioles, Fenway Park, which I'm sure is quite interesting and creates some of the uniqueness the outcomes. Shea Stadium, which is now gone. I just went to City Field the other night. Three River Stadium, where I watched probably most of my baseball games, appropriately on black and gold print here. Interestingly, it says from 1972 on. Three River Stadium actually opened mid-season 1970, so it's some sort of a typo. Shea Stadium, I believe, opened in '64, as shown here. From '62 and '63, the Mets played in the Polo Grounds. One thing about ballpark baseball is they really like to use these odd-colored papers. Here's Riverfront. They did get that right. They moved from Crosley Field in 1970. So there you have it. More correspondence from Ballpark Baseball. I'm just going to leave this here in case you want to pause on it. Looks like some commentary from about some of the historical games. I'm sorry, historical seasons. A reorder form. Ballpark Baseball was based in Kansas. I think this is just a blank card if you wanted to make your own players. Maybe. But on the other side, we have 1973 Horacio Pena, who was a reliever, I believe, for the 73 A's. I've made the 73 A's for my own sim, so I'm a little familiar with that. Looks like some more rosters, 32 Yankees and others from 1932. More correspondence, 1950 season now available. You know, I don't know, at one point they started making the game with computer assistance, but before that it had to have been a lot of work. So here we have the cards which we saw earlier in the instructions, and as I mentioned before, there are left-right splits, but that's all I see. Occasionally in Ballpark there would be some integration between the pitcher and the batter card to help control outliers, which can be a problem when you have a 50-50 system. In this case, this Bobby Hoffman doesn't have any such controls, but here you have Marv Grissom, and he's going to control outcome number 44 on the pitcher card, and it's going to become an H1 result. Here's the 1975 Pirates, which I would be somewhat interested in. I'll probably get these rubber bands off. Looks like they've made an attempt to use the team colors instead of real gaudy card colors that you'll see in other versions. Yeah, Manny Sanguillen. I suspect some of this control here for him is to reflect the fact that he's a low strikeout, low walk hitter, and so you need some of these codes at the bottom to take away some of the pitcher results and customize them more to the batter. Yeah, here's a pitcher card, Jerry Royce. Here's the Red Sox, and as I was saying, you can see the team colors being reflected here. Here you have some different cards. Again, it's the 73 A's that we were talking about. These are not color-coded. They're a little bit bigger. As mentioned before, you can see the pitcher results go from 26 to 50. Orioles, nice team colors, 1969 Orioles. So it looks like the game went through some revisions. This is very nice, New York Yankees. Very strong team in 1961. Yeah, you can see there's different copyrights on these cards. These are 1976. These are 1971. You'll have to refer to the other video to see what I mean about the cards and taking on a different design. So yeah, I'm not sure what these are, but my guess is they have something to do with kind of the random numbers that you play with the game, but I'm really not sure what these are. Kind of interesting. So yeah, some other teams, Boston Braves, kind of cool. 69 Mets. Yeah, maybe there's not a whole lot more to look at here, but you know, I think it's quite interesting. You can see that the game must have gone through some sort of evolution, particularly with those additional splits of runners on base versus not. Thanks for watching. I don't want to extend this too much longer. If you know anything about ballpark baseball, and particularly how the game evolved, please leave comments. It's kind of important, I think, to preserve the history of these games, that we share our knowledge. Thanks for listening, as always, and you can find in the description how to see my other games, and I didn't show it here, but you can email me anytime if you have any comments, questions, or other information you want to share with me. Take care.